All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about a huge shift in education, a move away from those high-stress exams we all remember towards a model that's actually focused on success. We're going to completely change how you think about testing in the classroom.
Oh man, who doesn't remember that feeling, right? Your heart's pounding, you're watching the clock tick down, and your entire grade feels like it's riding on this one moment. It's a feeling we've all had. But what if it doesn't have to be that way?
This slide right here, this sums up the whole battle. On one side, you've got examination. Think stress, ranking, judgment. It's all about a final score. But on the other side, you've got evaluation, and the words here are totally different. Feedback, growth, improvement. This is the big idea we're diving into.
So, let's talk about the new rules of the game. This is all about moving away from a system that just ranks students against each other and moving toward one that's designed to give them the actual feedback they need to get better.
This is the one we're all familiar with, assessment of learning. It happens at the very end. It's the final exam, the final verdict. It tells you you got a 40%, and that's kind of it. It tells you where you ended up, but not really how to do better next time.
Now, compare that to assessment for learning. This is totally different. It happens during the whole learning process. Its goal isn't to judge, it's to diagnose. It's the teacher coming over and saying, hey, it looks like you're getting stuck on these map skills. Let's work on that together and fix it. It's a support system, not a final judgment.
And you can even take it a step further, which is where it gets really powerful. Assessment as learning. This is where students actually get involved in their own evaluation. They look at their own work or they give feedback to their friends, and by doing that, they start to really understand what makes a project great.
And this right here, this is the golden rule. If there's one thing to take away, it's this. The point of all this is always feedback, and then finding a remedy. It's about helping, not hurting. It is absolutely not about labeling kids, ranking them, or pointing out who's slow.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this actually look in a real classroom? Let's check out the system that makes this all happen. A system that's basically always on and covers, well, everything.
The system is called Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation, or CCE for short. So continuous just means that assessment isn't this one big scary test. It happens all the time, in small ways. And comprehensive means we're looking at the whole kid, not just their test scores, but also their values, their skills, and how they treat others.
Now, inside this CCE system, you've got two key types of assessment. There's formative assessment, which happens during a unit. Its goal is to diagnose problems and help improve. Then you have summative assessment. That's the one at the end, the one that gives the final grade. They look similar, but they have totally different jobs.
Here's the easiest way to remember the difference. Formative assessment, or FA, is for the teacher. It's their compass. It tells them, hey, is my teaching method actually working for these students? But summative assessment, or essay, that's for the official record. That's what goes on the report card.
So to do all this, a teacher needs more than just a red pen, right? Let's take a peek inside a modern teacher's toolkit. It's a lot more than just tests and quizzes.
First up, we've got the portfolio. Think of it like a scrapbook of a student's learning journey. It's a collection of their best work over time. Drawings, essays, projects, you name it. It's their personal highlight reel.
So why is this so amazing? Because a portfolio doesn't just show the final score. It shows the whole journey. You can see the messy first draft next to the polished final essay. You see the progress. It tells a much deeper story than any single test grade ever could.
Next in the toolkit is something called a rubric. A rubric is just a scoring guide. It's a simple chart that tells a student, here is exactly how you get an A on this project. It makes the whole grading process totally transparent. No more mystery.
And the best part about rubrics? They make grading objective, not subjective. It's not just based on what the teacher feels. For a poster, for example, it's broken down. You get 2 marks for design, 2 for content, 1 for originality. Everybody knows the rules of the game from day one.
And the last tool we'll look at is pretty cool. Anecdotal records. These are basically short little stories or notes that a teacher writes down when they observe something specific about a student's behavior.
This is the perfect tool for catching all those important soft skills. You can't give a multiple choice test on empathy, right? But you can notice it. A teacher might just jot down a quick note like, today, Rahul showed great empathy during the debate on gender. That stuff matters.
Okay, so we have this new philosophy, we have this cool new toolkit, but what's the point of it all? What's the ultimate goal here? Well, it's about getting students to do more than just recall facts. It's about getting them to actually think.
And there's a famous model for this called Bloom's taxonomy. Think of it like a pyramid. The old system often kept students stuck at the bottom, just remembering facts. The goal of this new approach is to push them up the pyramid, to analyze, to evaluate, and all the way at the top to create something brand new.
I love this analogy. Think of the whole process like a medical cycle. Step 1, the teacher does a quick diagnostic test to find the exact learning gap. What's the problem? And step 2, they provide remedial teaching. That doesn't mean more homework. It means teaching the same idea again, but in a totally different way to help it click.
Whew, that was a lot. So let's boil it all down into one simple, easy-to-remember takeaway. Think of this as your official cheat sheet for modern evaluation.
When it comes down to it, you're looking for patterns. The positive things, the green flags, are words like feedback, portfolios, and self-assessment. That's a sign of a healthy system. The negative tags, the red flags, are things like ranking, labeling, and tests that only ask for recall. That's the old way of doing things.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Just imagine, what if every single student, from their very first day of school, learned that the goal wasn't to be number 1, but to be better than they were yesterday? How would that one little shift change not just our schools, but pretty much everything?